I did this, and it sent them a reminder for a job that I had quoted, and it pops up, and it was like, yeah, it was like, "Dear do not service, John Doe."
Oh.
And I'm like, "Oh." Well.
Hey, everybody, welcome to the Make Trades Great Again podcast. Andy, you opened the show last week.
God, it was like a whole new thing.
It was. Well, I'm back.
Did I suck at it?
No, it's fine. It was just different. So I got an idea for today.
Okay.
You've been getting a lot of great feedback from our lovely friends who listen, and thank you. You guys, seriously, it makes a huge difference in our day for you to let us know what you think. And you've been telling us in some comments here and there, over on YouTube and on the podcast and stuff, that you like it when we just kind of BS and talk about the real things we're dealing with. And I got something today. It's not like earth shattering, but you've heard me talk about it in the past. Remember the barn dominium, the year-old job? I said, I'm not taking jobs from customers anymore, unless they're run by a builder. You know what I mean? Remember that?
Uh-huh.
Yeah. Well, since I said that, I took out one more, and I shouldn't have, but it's done, and it went pretty smooth. I did it because, the guy was an electrician, so he
all right,
and he was really
different.
It was a little bit different, and he was really motivated to finish the job because it's his, it's a barn dominium in floor heat. That's what I was contracted to do. And he was really motivated to finish it quickly because he wanted to be there for opening, deer hunting rifle season,
Sure.
which is like the first weekend in November. And I started this project with him in like September. So I was like, okay, this should move pretty quick. And it did. And I'm fully done and paid and stuff. Although the guy just didn't know how to run any electronics, which is a real pain in my butt.
Right.
Anyway, also, on that note, man, I'm all over the place. You know how we can control the boilers with our phone?
Yeah.
Why doesn't Viessmann just have they're owned by Carrier now. Why don't they just have a thermostat too in the app? You know what I'm saying?
So the app is built for it, and it must be something that's not in North America.
Well, they have the Vito room control or whatever.
There's some stuff. I swear that there's some stuff in Europe or Turkey or something like that that's like, oh, this is like great.
Yeah, I agree.
But we just don't have it. It's probably in a country that uses really intelligent zone configuration, like none.
Just boiler
and does like outdoor reset
Yeah.
and room temperature feedback from one location.
Yeah, imagine that.
Maybe some panel radiators with radiator valves.
Well, you know why that doesn't work in America, right? In North
America.
America.
Don't put panel radiators.
That's one reason. The other reason is people have to have a number on the wall to tell them they're comfortable or not.
It's true.
I'm sorry, I'm going to say it out loud. I have that conversation every once in a while.
Yeah. How does it go?
It goes like this. It goes like me saying, basically, without using the words, you're a moron if you need a number on the wall to tell you you're comfortable or not, because that doesn't dictate anything. But I don't use those words, but that's what I'm thinking. Because you know me better than a lot of people. No, that's the facts of it though. You don't need a little microchip sensor on a wall, a little thermistor in your, let's say you have 5,000, let's say you have 2,000, let's say you have 1,000 square foot house. That's it. 1,000 square feet.
1,000.
That's a pretty
100 by 10.
That's a pretty awesome size living space for two people, if you ask me. If you're in the city. Obviously people like bigger places than that, but let's just stick with 1,000 square feet. How big is a thermistor, Andy?
Well, itty bitty.
Yeah, itty bitty. Let's say it's like a 1/4 inch.
Oh yeah,
it occupies like a 1/4 inch space in the entire 1,000 square feet, right?
Yeah, 1/4 cubic inch.
Yeah. Okay. How many thermistors are on your body?
Yeah,
hundreds, maybe thousands, right? Temperature sensors. And so your body's always doing a mass calculation of an average.
Right.
Usually your feet aren't very much different than the core of your body or your hands.
No.
You know what I mean? Like, I know there's a difference in temperature from one end of your body to the other, but relatively speaking, in the terms of comfort and how things kind of operate, your body is a pretty good thermistor. It's a pretty good gauge on whether or not you're comfortable or not.
Right.
You got a number on your wrist that tells you you're comfortable or not?
Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
No. I got sweat on my brow or I don't. I'm like one or the other. I'm like pretty good.
Right.
You don't need a number on the wall. That's what I say. Anyway,
No.
I don't even know why it's the electrician who calls me is like, how do I change the temperature? I'm like, dude, you use the thermostat. He's like, well, I'm doing it in the app on the boiler. I'm like, that's actually really smart. What I didn't tell you is you need to download the Ecobee app because now you got to have an app for everything.
Right.
I got a customer that likes to say that too. Like, oh, is there an app for that? You know, like, because he has 2 CU3A boilers in his property, one in his barndominium. No, they don't live out there. It's a massively nice post frame barn, and then like wood shop, garage, that kind of stuff.
Yeah,
and
guest
then
house.
Well, it doesn't have.
Basically.
Yeah, it does have living space. Actually, you're right.
Yeah.
And then he's got the 125-year-old farmhouse with a CU3A in it and cast iron radiators. Oh, it's beautiful. Anyway, I put in the softeners. You got to have an app for those damn things, you know?
Yeah.
It's like all this kind of crap. And he always says to me in the comments over on Instagram, well, you got to have an app for that.
Yeah.
No, like, why doesn't the Viessmann app have why don't we just have a thermostat? You know what I'm saying?
Like I said, it's there. There's functionality there, and I just don't. I would love to know. I'd like to see like a global product offering. You know what I mean?
It doesn't even have to. I would too. It doesn't even have to go to that scale, though.
Right, but no, just to see what's available in other places.
I see.
Because you look at certain things on the app and you're like, oh, that's kind of cool. You know, I mean, they do solar chargers and like mini splits and all that stuff now, right?
And you could connect them all in to one system. Like you could control them centrally.
Yeah. So I'm sure there is a thermostat somewhere. It's just not available to us.
It would be really nice if it were, and we could just go in with our boiler replacement, because this is where it would really make a big difference, was the retrofit market.
Yeah. Did you know that there's the ability somewhere in that whole product offering to have wireless outdoor sensors?
No.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know
what country does it.
I need 2 right now, by the way.
I don't know what country does it or what marketplace they're offered in, but that's an option in the programming. At least on the 200 series, that you can go in and radio check on and off a wireless outdoor sensor, but it doesn't exist anywhere that I've found
in North America.
Anywhere, period. I've not seen any reference to it other than in the software.
Oh, so it's just on the board or something. That's a pain in the ass.
It would be sweet.
I need 2 wireless right now.
Yeah.
Are you? I'm hesitant to
Techmar.
use. I'm hesitant. I know I have them. I'm hesitant to use them because of connectivity issues. I don't want them going in and out.
They work beautifully.
I thought you've had issues with them.
Okay. No, the original ones we did. Now here's the thing that you'll run into. Techmar profusely claims they are not polarity sensitive. I profusely claim they don't know what the frick they're talking about, because they are absolutely polarity sensitive.
So Techmar is profuse and you're emphatic. I think that would be the way.
Maybe that's the word. Yeah.
No, it's okay.
I'm calling BS.
I love it. I love it.
Because here's why I'm calling BS. Because I can power this with an external 24-volt supply. You do need that.
Yeah.
Because your Viessmann boiler, if you're using Viessmann, will not have 24-volt output available on a 100 series.
No, and I'm almost exclusive to one. I mean, it's not that I don't put 200s in, but there's a very slim chance because there's not a lot of use application versus 100.
Right. The 200 side, there's some pins that you can get 24-volt power from. You shouldn't.
You can wire a transformer onto the 100 on the power supply side. On the 120-volt blocks, there's a constant power supply there. Yeah. It's not. I'm not going to tell you which one it is, and Viessmann's not going to tell you which one it is. Yeah. And for, like my boiler alone, my boiler in my shop, 3 feet on the other side of the wall from where I'm sitting right now, has a 24-volt transformer under the lid under the hood, connected to the board for power supply to power my Ecobee thermostat.
Yep.
And it's a 100 series, so you can do it.
Yeah.
And I'm not like tapped into the power switch. I'm saying there's 2 lugs on there. It works. The wireless sensor would be great. Having control of the room temp from the app would be a huge plus. And this is stuff that we're talking about that used to be able to, like, it's how the boilers used to work before they went to this smarter platform with connectivity. So that's what we're looking for. Anyway, back to the original topic here.
Right.
So barn dominium.
Before I forget, because we started down the 087, powered externally on the Viessmann board.
Yeah.
Where your outdoor sensor lands, there is one pin terminal that has a triangle and one that has nothing. Right? It's like, what is it? Wires to 1 and 2 on that 6 pin. I can't remember. It's either 1 and 2 or 5 and 6.
It's 1 and 2.
I think it's 1 and 2. One of them has a triangle. Okay. So just use that as your polarity.
Use that as your red or your white. One of the
right. And then on the little Tecmar 087, it's like 1 and 2 there as well. And then you have 1 and 2 and then R and C. The R and C is your 24-volt power. If you wire it all up and you connect everything.
And you get an error on the board, on the control?
No, you don't get an error. You just get the wrong temperature reading. It'll be like significantly hotter than it is. And if it's like, you're like, it's only 60 degrees outside and it's showing that it's 90, right? And this is another thing that drives me nuts about this new platform of Viessmann. And I say new, I mean, it's been around for 3 years now, but it doesn't tell you when it's in warm weather shutdown. It just doesn't frickin' work.
Right.
Like, it doesn't do anything.
Well, if you know the math, if you do the math, and if your sensor temperature is correct.
Right.
Because it has to be below room set point temperature in order for the boiler to run.
Except on the 100, it doesn't have room temp set point.
It does. It's 68 degrees.
Right.
So if it's below 68, the boiler ain't turned on. Or if it's above 68, the boiler ain't turned on.
So anyway, if your outdoor temperature reading on the display is like that's not what it is outside, flip those 2 wires. Just reverse them, and then it'll be fine.
On the wireless sensor.
Yes.
Okay, but okay. Well, let's go down this path a little bit longer.
Yeah.
I have posted about this, and I have told you about it too. And I understand that these outdoor sensors use the cheapest components. It's just a thermistor. They're pretty generic. They probably cost like 3 cents. Okay.
Yeah.
They're not all the same.
Oh, no.
Because my house says it's one temperature and my shop says it's another, and they are 80 feet from each other. They're not even 80. I think they're about 60 feet from the 2 sensors. No lie. They're both facing the same direction. They're both, I can read them at night. They're, it's not a daytime, nighttime thing.
And one's always warmer than the other?
Yes. Always warmer than the other.
Yeah.
Like 10 degrees warmer. Not just
you should just switch them and see if it follows.
I did.
Did you?
And they're always, yes, they're fucking, I almost swore there. Yeah, it's so frustrating. Somebody's like, you got, you didn't plug the hole, and I'm like, no, stop.
No. Yeah.
Stop.
This is one of the reasons.
Heating that diode, you know what I mean? Or that sensor thermostat.
So I do prefer the Tecmar 087. I don't prefer that I have to buy it, right? Like, I mean, I prefer that platform. Yeah, it's not cheap. But here's why I like it. It's completely wireless. 2 AA lithium batteries, supposed to have a 10-year average battery life.
Yeah.
Right. So it's a long time.
Yeah.
And the nice thing about that is I can mount this outdoor sensor on the shed in the yard or on a fence post.
You don't have to climb up the house and everything.
Well, I can completely remove it from a heat source.
Yeah.
Right. So if we're like, the insulation in this house is trash and, or this dryer vent's going to be blowing on it, I can like put it out on the side of somebody's garden shed or something like that. And
yeah.
It's, absolutely not getting heat from the house. So anyway, long story.
I'm going to hit a button over here on my coffee maker. It might make a little noise. Is that going to be a problem?
No, I don't know. Probably not. Right. It's just for Chad. So it's just a cappuccino from our finely crafted Nespresso.
Okay. So back to the whole point of my initial discussion, the barn dominium year-old project. It's been a challenge. Boilers on the wall, It's ready to be gassed up and filled, and it's almost done. I have a couple
Yeah.
things to do today. I worked on it well over a week ago, and I said, you got to get the gas connected to the building.
Mm-hmm.
This barn, it's in the backyard of her parents' property. Like there's a house there. This is like in their back. I don't know why they're doing this, but whatever. Well, I ain't making coffee either because I got no water, so we're just gonna not drink coffee this episode. And so there's all this confusion about who's gonna do the gas, and she's like, "Well, your bid says it," and I'm like, "No, my bid says that I'll connect the boiler to the gas that's in the building." So I'm not. It says very specifically that it's within 20 feet of the boiler. Anything beyond that, and that's generous, by the way. Anything beyond that, you're paying. I've included that much of my time and material to get this thing connected to your gas line. And I say 20 feet because I'm like, early on, you're not exactly sure where the boiler's going to go because things kind of shift, and they did. And I was still within 20 feet, so everything should be fine. So no gas. And I'm like, crazy. You got to get this taken care of. And then she's on me like, well, can you do it? And I'm like, yeah, for a price. Because the gas needs to be run across the yard.
Right.
Like 100 feet underground and reconnected at the old meter, which is low pressure, by the way. So, you go in that distance, better size it right. And anyway, we're kind of playing that whole thing. She wants heat, and I'm like, I gave you a price for gas, and she's like, and I told her, I'm like, it's not cheap. None of this is cheap. None of it's inexpensive. And I'm not getting rich. I'm basically covering my cost and time. That's how I priced it. I'm like, look, it's basically time and material. It's this much. And I gave her a number, and it was, I think, relatively inexpensive, considering, and I could have charged more. I know other companies will. And her immediate reply was, well, I'll hire somebody else to do it. I'm like, well, I've been telling you for freaking weeks. You need gas. I can't give you heat, and I'm not going to do it like out of the blue. And so the whole I'll hire somebody else to do it thing really bothers me in the sense that when is this going to happen? And you've already strung this job along a year. You want heat. The trim carpenters aren't going to do anything until it's warm in there. Luckily, you got most of the painting done before it got cold. And now here we are, thumb up our butt. The whole idea about connecting to somebody else's gas line is fine with me as long as I know it's been inspected, permitted, inspected, tested, and that because when I start my system up and I get a final inspection on my boiler, this city requires a manometer test to show that there's no leaks. And I know you guys don't don't have to do manometer tests, do you? On final, so on final gas. Because I have the heating appliance for the building, I have to do a manometer test on it, show there's no leaks. I don't, I know it's just on me and I got to deal with it, but like, I hate the idea that somebody else is going to be doing this work because it's, for less money than me, who's going to be doing it? You know what I mean? Like, that's where my head is at. It's just a pain in the butt. I don't know why I take on these jobs. And I told you a while ago, I'm not going to do it anymore. And honestly, I'd like to say that that's true and I'm going to stick to that, but you know how it goes. It's tough. Jobs, get a little scarce. You need a little work or whatever, but that's where I'm at.
Yeah. Well, I mean,
if you had you've dealt with this with the whole, customer saying, you're too high or, well, you know what I mean? Like if you were in that situation, what are your thoughts when I say like, she says, well, I'm just going to have somebody else do it. Like, I don't know. Can you even say anything I doubt it.
I mean, no, not really. I mean, she rejected your bid for it. So
yeah, exactly.
Go find somebody else then and tell me when they're done. Oh, and by the way, they're on their own mechanical permit.
Right. Yeah.
So
no, you're right about that. That's the whole thing is I think that's the next thing I have to remind her of. And this is all something that like came to a final head yesterday.
Right.
Before
is your permit still valid?
It is. It is until like December 15th. So not much longer, like a month.
Well, so you should probably let her know, hey, in 30 days or whatever, I have to reapply for the permit because of the duration of the project. And if we don't have final done before then, that you're going to be on the hook for another permit too. whatever it costs to. I mean, you should just be open with her on that, because that's not something that you should have to eat because they can't figure out how to build a barn, a pole barn.
I know. That's what it is. It's a freaking pole barn.
I mean, that sucks and whatever, but I don't know.
Yeah, I think you're right. I just have to go back with the conversation and I had another guy, he's like out of the blue contacts me and says, "Hey, I heard you're the one to call. I got a another pole barn. It's not living space." He's like, "I got a pole barn. My boiler isn't working." I'm like, "Okay." I don't know why I got this attitude. I'd never met the guy. This is a call I get all the time. Shade. Yeah, I don't know why I'm throwing shade at this guy. This is a normal situation I deal with every freaking week. Guy calls me. He's like, "I got a boiler. It's not working. Pole barn. What's your availability?" He heard you're the one to call. And I said, this was like last week and I was out of town. I said, "Well, I can get to you Monday." Like it's, like in 5 days, not the end of the world. If it's a post frame building and it has a boiler in it, I'm reasonably certain in Minnesota that it has glycol in it, so you're fine. And it's also not that cold. But you did say it's not heating. And that could mean that the boiler's, not working, but the pump's running. I don't know. Anyway, I said, "Well, I can get there Monday. Or, just let me know." And I said, "Send me your contact info." I put them into House Call Pro and did all that kind of stuff. So I had him on the schedule, and he calls me the next day and he says, "Well, I got somebody else coming out." And I'm like, "Yep, of course you do. No big deal. I don't care." I mean, I do care, but I can't do anything about it. And I would too, if I were you, try to get somebody out there sooner than 5 days. And this was last week when he told me that. I texted him yesterday or 2 days ago, Monday, and said, "Hey, just want to verify you don't need anybody. You got your problem taken care of." I think that's the right thing to do in our, from yours or my standpoint. And he replied back a few hours later. He says, "I got somebody coming out tonight to take a look at it." And I'm like, "Well, wait a minute. I told you Monday, and what happened to your guy that was going to come out last week?" Anyway, he texted me this morning. When my phone went off at 4:35 this morning. It's on sleep mode, so I didn't know it. But when I woke up at 5:30, I got a text from a customer at 4:35 a.m. That's annoying.
Yeah.
And he's like, "Good morning. The guy that came out says he's unfamiliar with high efficiency boilers." I'm like, "What? Unfamiliar with high efficiency boilers? Like, who did you call? Like, right. My great grandpa? Like, you're like out of the nursing home? Like, what are you? Who is taking calls saying they can work on heating systems and can't work on a boiler?" And he's like, and he says, "It's an IBC. Are you familiar with that?" And I'm like, "And can you still come out and look at it sometime?" And so I replied back, not at 5:30 in the morning.
Right.
But I did reply, and I said, "Yeah, absolutely. And we can schedule it for tomorrow afternoon. I have some time in the afternoon, that kind of deal."
Yeah.
And then I get the, "Well, I don't think tomorrow, like, is there another?" I'm like, "Look, dude, you got tomorrow afternoon. Can you make it work? If you can't, you're going to wait till next week," which is also a holiday. It's going to get a little hectic. Anyway, just a BS. I don't know what my point was in any of this, but I think it's just the kind of stuff that we deal with on a regular basis.
Yeah. Yeah. We had one the other day. Cheryl's telling me. And so I've got a buddy of mine that I plumbed with at the past shop that we worked at. And he and I had worked at this shop. And anyway, both of us started businesses about the same time. So he's at the point where I know he's got some shoulder injuries or something like that. So he's basically closing his business. And so in the process of this, he's sending customers to me, because he's like trying to wean his customers off, I guess, if that makes sense. I don't even know what the hell whatever.
No, I love it. I love that. The mental image I had on wean his customers. I love this episode. It's really about nothing, but this is pretty
Nothing,
great.
yeah.
I'm
Yeah.
sorry. Keep going.
So anyway, one of his customers calls and is like, we had, I don't remember what the deal was. Like, we had some cabinets replaced, and the handyman that we had do the cabinets tried to take the sink off, and then when they put the sink back on, there's like some mystery leak, and it's like ruined the bottom of the cabinets. And we've had a couple of people come out and look at it, and the other guy that is quit doing business is doesn't want to come look at it. Like, he doesn't have time or interest or whatever.
Yeah.
So he said to call you. And so Cheryl's like, all right, well, I mean, we're, it's gonna be a couple weeks, but I can get somebody there. This is the date, so and it was like next week. All right. It's not like, it wasn't like a long ways out. And it's not like this thing is like gushing water. Like, occasionally there's water in the bottom of the cabinet and they can't figure out why. And I'm like, it's probably a freaking, cheesy pop-up drain because somebody went to Lowe's or Home Depot and bought a piece of crap consumer grade faucet from the big box store, and the pop-up's probably leaking. I'm like, it's fine. We'll bring and so Cheryl's like, well, what kind of information do you think we should get, for Matt or somebody to go look at that? And I was like, we just need to know what color so we can bring in the right pop-up drain, and we'll just bring a replacement all metal pop-up and we'll put the thing in right. I said, I'm almost guaranteeing that's what it is. I said, it's possible it's the aerator or the faucet itself is leaking, but most likely it's the pop-up. Okay. So she puts it on the schedule, and House Call Pro sends her a text message and an email saying, this is the date of your appointment. And so and Cheryl's like, this lady is like very particular on the phone, right? Like, she's kind of demanding, and she's like, I get a bad vibe. And I'm like, well, I'm going to tell her to go pound sand. I mean, whatever. We don't have to work for these people just because they were, Dave's customer.
Yeah.
I'm like, at this point in time, I'm like getting jaded in my old age of business, right? And being busy. It's that time of year where you're like, we have plenty of stuff to do.
Yeah, your poop don't stink kind of attitude.
Yeah. And I'm like, you know what?
I get it.
You can either be nice and cordial, or you can find somebody else, because it's really easy to do that too. There's a whole bunch of people in town that do this kind of work. And if you don't like what I have to say, then maybe you should go find somebody else, because I'm not going to lose any sleep over having an attitude.
I think a lot of people approach that. Like, I think some people are coming to us with that kind of interaction because they've been burned by another customer, a 100%. Contractor. That's my. You have to have a level head about that, which I know you do. I know you totally do, and I know Cheryl does too.
Right.
But it doesn't make it easier for us. It makes it more difficult.
So this person, this is, I don't know what day this was. Might have been Monday earlier this week. Sends an email. What is this work for? Like, in reply to that, to the scheduling email. And so it was at like 6:00, right? So we're done with business.
Yeah.
The email pops up on my phone, and I'm like, whatever. I'm not even gonna reply to this right now.
Well, because the heads up on the scheduling doesn't say what we're doing.
No, and it's super annoying.
I wish it did. I wish it had at least like the first line item or something, so that we knew so that we would always populate that with like a quick description, what we're gonna do, even if it didn't have a price. It would be super nice. That's a note to the House Call Pro, by the way.
Yeah, and as well, the address would be really cool.
Yeah, because some people have more than one
Eric
properties.
is on his way to 1275 Skyland Drive, and he's there to replace the toilet.
Yes, I wish it did say that.
Without
having to tell that, like, type that each time.
Right. Anyway, so we get the email back. What does this work for? Whatever. So we I'm like, I'll answer that later or tomorrow, whatever. Because the appointment's not for 2 weeks or whatever. It's, it's 10 days out.
Yeah.
And then at like the same thing, like 1:30 in the morning, they reply to the text. What does this work for? I didn't order this work. So then that woke me up, because I get a ding or whatever, and I'm like,
oh, you
what
got to
the
put
heck?
your phone on
I
sleep
know.
mode.
For whatever reason, I didn't.
Yeah.
Or it wasn't. I don't know what the deal was, but it did dinged, and I was like, woke up and I looked at it, and I'm like, are you freaking kidding me? Like, this is the opportune point where you decided you needed to reply to this text message.
Yeah. You got to
You're
set
an
it to
ass.
automatic, by the way. You can do that on your phone. But
And
anyway.
so we were going to the gym, and I was like, it's 5:05 in the morning. So I replied back to it. This was for the work that you ordered when you called in. Don't worry about it. I'll cancel it. And so I, sent that text message back, and I was like, wake up.
You need to. That was a situation where you needed to.
I needed the 5-minute warning.
Yeah,
step away.
Like you and I talk about off the air. Like you're replying to a dumbass comment on social trolls, and you're like, "Listen here, mother f," and then you go, "Okay, I'm going to walk away for 5 minutes," and then when you come back, you're like, "I don't need to say any of this. This is a waste of time." Yeah.
And then I promptly marked that customer as do not service. You ain't never getting nothing out of me.
I feel your pain there.
Yeah, I love that feature, by the way.
I forget to look at it.
Beautiful feature. And I'm glad, because we used to do it where we would change the customer's name to do not service and then their name.
Yeah, but it doesn't really work. It doesn't really work very well. I like the box thing. Like it's more effective.
Now, yeah. But previously, you're right, it didn't work.
Made it hard to find people.
Yeah. Well, so the problem with it, hang on a second.
This is all over. I love this episode. I'm sure people listening are like, what the hell? And I'm like, hey guys, everybody listening right now, if you're still with us, by the way, thank you. This is just a conversation between Andy and I. It didn't start that way, but this is honestly what we talk about like all the time.
Right.
If we talk about work, we talk about other things too, but.
So the problem with changing the customer name to do not service
is now you have 50 customers with the same number.
No. If you have Pipeline, right, and Pipeline has automated reminders, I did this, and it sent them a reminder for a job that I had quoted, and it pops up, and it was like, it was like, dear do not service, John Doe. And I'm like, well, I know where we stand.
Yeah.
So don't do that.
You know what I don't like about the Pipeline is, I think this is a different discussion for a different day, but the reminders, I have it set up basically more or less along the lines that it was just out of the box. Like, this is what we think you should do. Like the default settings for reminders. And I don't dispute that though. I know how you feel about them. You don't love them. They do work. They definitely do work. The Pipeline has sold a lot of jobs for me.
Yeah.
Because of the reminders.
Right.
But it's when the customer has to hit decline to stop the reminders unless you do it on the contractor side.
So
I wish it would just stop.
It will. So
over time, I get it.
Right. And okay.
I wish it was more obvious to a customer that they have to approve or decline.
Yeah.
That's I think what the problem is.
I need to change my language, like on there. Like, if you'd like to proceed with this work, follow these instructions.
Yeah.
Right. Click the blue button. Don't send me an email saying I approve, because that's not what I'm looking for. But there is I also wish you could decline an estimate on the mobile side.
You can't do that?
Mm-mm.
On the customer side?
On the customer side, you can.
Yeah, on our side, you can.
From our side, if I have an estimate or whatever, and let's say I'm out in the field and somebody calls and goes, hey, it's not in our budget right now, or whatever the case is.
Yeah, they might have had a different idea what it was going to cost. I mean, you can't blame people. Like, sometimes they're misinformed or they just don't have an idea. They got to start somewhere.
Yep.
And maybe you didn't talk about the price,
So I have to basically, if I get that email, in order to kill that estimate, I have to log into my iPad or whatever and do it that way.
Well,
which isn't the end of the world. But.
No, I know. I think what I'm complaining about is a problem I'm creating.
Yes.
First of all, I do strongly believe that it's confusing to the customer on how they should approve decline. It's not obvious to them. So you're there too. You get the same emails I do. Hey, we approve this. This is great. What do we do next? And you have to reply, hey, it would be really great if you could just hit the approve button on this particular option, and then it'll start things on my end. They did change the pipeline thing to automatic. If you go in your settings in the back end, it'll automatically change an approved estimate to a job.
It will move it, yeah.
And that is new, and that is something that
super nice.
I think I yelled the loudest about. I wasn't the only one, but I would.
You weren't the only one, yeah.
I wasn't the only one, but I continuously brought that up in the Facebook group. Anyway, this is now turned into a House Call Pro discussion, which is only good for a few of our friends. But yeah, I think I get back to, I think I'm the one creating the problem, because here's the deal. I don't have somebody in the office who I could then say, hey, quick, can you decline this estimate or something like that, because it had, like you're saying, it has to be done from a desktop version of the app or the software. One reminder too, to everybody listening, we need to remind ourselves as people in 2025, where everything resides and is done, all commerce is done on the internet.
Right.
Apps and mobile are not the same as desktop and internet. Like, it's not, you're never going to have the full functionality. And there's nothing wrong with that. They make apps better and better all the time. But we have to remind ourselves that a scooter is not a motorcycle, right? Like, it's just, you know what I'm saying? The motorcycle is the app. The software on your desktop is the freaking Ford F-350. Like, you can't haul the fifth wheel with your Escort or your Honda Goldwing. You know what I'm saying?
I've seen it. That's BS.
No, but it does come up often. It does in my household, where I have to remind a certain somebody I live with, and she's great, but I have to be like, look, you have to get on. You can't do everything from your phone. Like, you just can't. Right. And it's not that I'm not trying to be mean. It's just like, you just have to admit that you have to remind yourself once in a while. You do have to get on a computer. And I bring this up because I don't know if anybody on the House Call Pro Facebook group listens to this podcast, but boy, do a lot of people try to run their business from their mobile app. You can't do that, people. Not fully. You can't. I don't care if you just are washing floor mats. Like, if that's your business, you just wash car floor mats. Yeah. You still eventually have to log into a computer and do some official work. You know what I mean?
Right. There's a lot of functionality
it's abbreviated.
It shouldn't be on that it really shouldn't be on the app. There's a few pieces that I would like to be there, but
I think it's little niceties, but I don't want to be able to change how all my money works and where it goes. I don't want to have to do that on a mobile app. You know what I mean?
Right.
Anyway, dude.
Jeez.
This is a long conversation.
38 minutes of what?
Well, you got to see a little piece of my ADHD, that's for sure. You probably see that every week.
Yeah, well, it happens.
I'm going to hit stop.
Do it.
I'm going to remind everybody, please give us your feedback. Even if you hated this episode, I want to know. I really do. You're not going to hurt my feelings.
That's right.
I've heard it all. At this point, I have heard it all.
No, it's called worse.
Get down into the comments, whether you're watching us on YouTube or you're listening on your favorite podcast app. There's a link there. You can send us feedback. We'd love to hear from you. It's in the form of a text message, and we don't get your phone number. It just doesn't come to our phone. It goes to whoever hosts our podcast, that kind of thing. And it's useful. We look at them, and we often use that for improving the show or just stopping talking about BS like I did all day today, hopefully. And I want to hear from you. So does Andy. All right, dude.
Later.
See ya.